Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. Today, we're going to be discussing about the things that you need to talk about during courtship. When it comes to courtship, it's basically you've agreed that you want to get married. So there's certain things that you need to discuss because it's not about the wedding. A wedding is just a one-day event. But when it comes to being married and the things that you need to discuss during courtship, is for you to see if you are willing to spend the rest of your life with this person, because there are things that may come out during courtship, and this will make you decide whether you want to marry this person or you don't. One of the things that you need to discuss is, where are we going after the wedding? Obviously there will be a honeymoon, but when you come back from the honeymoon, where are you going to stay? Is he going to take you back to his mother's house? Or maybe you're going to rent an apartment, or you're going to rent a house. Or maybe he's even planning on building a house for you. While he's building a house, because a house takes long to build, where are you going to be staying? Are you going to go back to your mom's house or his mother's house? These are the things that you need to discuss, because sometimes we think about the wedding and we don't think about, where are you going to stay? Maybe you've got your own apartment and he's got his own apartment. And sometimes it can be a bit tricky. Somebody has to leave their apartment. Obviously, it makes sense to move into his apartment, but what if moving to his apartment is not a good choice? Maybe he's sharing. So these are the things that you need to discuss. And the next thing you have to talk about is, which church are you going to attend? It makes sense to attend your husband's church. But if he's okay in him joining you in your church, then that shouldn't be a problem. And the next point to discuss is, talk about children. Ask how many children does he want? And you should tell him, how many children do you want? Because maybe you're marrying someone who wants 10 children and you're thinking to yourself, no, I cannot have 10 children. So discuss about children. Or maybe he doesn't want to even have children and you want to have children immediately. Discuss about parenting styles as well, because this is one thing that is so overlooked, because you are both from different backgrounds. His parenting styles may be different to yours. He might want to spank the child and you might want to tell the child to go to the naughty corner. So talk about these things, because this may affect you in the long run if you don't talk about it. You're now married to this person and his parenting styles, you don't like them. And he's not willing to even compromise his parenting styles, because maybe that's how he was brought up. So discuss about these things, because in the long run, you have to compromise in some way. Sit and talk about who's going to be doing the disciplining. Obviously, while you're sending that child to the person that disciplines the child, you also need to have an input. Support your husband while he's doing that as well. And also discuss about the future of your children, where you see your children going to school in the long run. Because there are some schools whereby there's a long waiting period. So if you want your children to go to a certain school, then you have to talk about moving to the area where you want your children to go to school. Because in most schools, they will take the people that live around the area. They would give them the first priority. So if you want your children to go to a certain school, you need to make a decision to move to that area. It's a compromise that you have to do as a parent. At least get an address around the area in order for your children to get that first priority. And the next thing to talk about is, you need to discuss each other's goals, missions, and visions. It's one of the topics that you talk about earlier in the relationship. But if you haven't talked about it, then it's time to talk about it. You need to know the kind of person you want into your life, the kind of person you want to marry. What are their goals? What are their visions? This will give you an idea if you're on the same page with this person, if your goals are aligned. Because sometimes you may want to marry this person and he is planning to move overseas and you prefer to be where you are. So this is when you have to be true to yourself and think about it. Do you want to stay with this person or you don't? Talk about those goals as a couple, what you want to achieve and how can you go about achieving those goals, because each of us have got goals that we want to achieve. Maybe you want to go further with your studies. Even though you're in courtship with this person and you're planning to get married and you'll be getting married very soon, but you feel like you still want to continue and study and have that degree. And yet, he feels like as soon as you get married, he wants to start having a family. This is when you have to have that discussion. If you're not going to discuss about this, how will the other person know your plans? This is when you have to be an open book. Be open about everything. This is a person that you're going to be spending your life with. So there are things that you have to talk about, even those skeletons in the closet, even though it may be difficult to talk about, but they still need to be said. Let him decide or let her decide that after being open to this person, do they still want to stay with you? Or maybe there's a ritual that you have as a family, and it's something that this person will need to know about, because eventually when he joins you, he's joining your family as well. And he has to take part on that ritual. Let that person decide for themselves if they want to be part of that ritual. Don't leave things until you're married and start telling your husband or your wife that, by the way, in our family, this is what we do at a certain time of the month. You have to make sure that you're open about everything. You don't leave any stone unturned. If there's any secret that needs to be told, then this is a time when you have to be open about it. Because remember, this person is going to be part of your journey, the journey of marriage. This person is going to be with you in and out. So there are certain things that you cannot hide. The sooner you talk about them, the better for you. Because sometimes you'll enter a marriage and later this becomes a burden to your marriage because you never talked about it. I know someone that was married to this man and he never disclosed that she had 2 children. It turned out that one day, one of the children decided that they want to visit their mother. It's high time they want to see where the mother lives. She had no choice but to accept it because she still wanted that relationship, even though she would speak to them most of the time on the phone, but they never got to visit her. And the one that came to visit is the one that looked exactly like her. So the husband was like, this child looks so much like you. Are you sure this child is not yours? And she kept lying, adding another lie on top of another lie. Eventually, the story came out that she had 2 children before he got married to him. So sometimes you can be lucky, the guy will stay in this marriage, and sometimes the guy will be like, I can't live with you. If you're going to hide such information from me, what else are you hiding? And it becomes a problem in the marriage. They're still married even today, even though it's no longer the same. So these are the things you need to talk about and avoid them. Anything that you have in your closet, you need to be open about it. If you've got baby mamas out there, be open about it so that she can know how many baby mamas she's going to be dealing with, because this becomes a problem as well, especially if you have those difficult baby mamas. When you are open with each other, even about the smallest things, what you like and what you dislike, this will help you with your communication. You're learning to understand each other. You're also learning the boundaries that you are setting in this relationship, because sometimes we don't set those boundaries and it becomes a hindrance when it comes to the marriage. And the next point is to discuss about your family background. I feel like this is one of the most important topic that you need to discuss. Get to find out, where is this person that you want to marry coming from? What kind of family is he or is she coming from? How does this person's family shape who they are? Because this is when you know what kind of person you are dealing with. Whatever this person is, starts from the family foundation. If it's a wrong family of narcissists, then you might be dealing with a narcissist. Talk about your in-laws as well, because there'll be a time where you have to stay with your in-laws. When it comes to sickness, you cannot plan for it. There might be a time when you have to bring in your mother or his mother so that you can look after her. Talk about this, how you both feel about it. Or maybe even if it's not your parents, it's your sisters. Talk about the boundaries that you have to set, because there are family members that don't have boundaries. They come and visit anytime just because it's their brother's house or maybe it's their sister's house. Talk about those boundaries, because sometimes that becomes a problem when it comes to the marriage. And the next point is, which I find it very important, is talk about your finances. This is one of the most important topic as well, because there's a lot of divorce that takes place because of finances. People are not open with regards to finances with one another. If you feel like you're a spender, then let the person who can deal with that handle the finances. I'm not saying you should take all your money and give it to him. What I'm saying is somebody has to manage the money. Like when you're running a business, you have a financial manager. These are conversations that will bring a strong foundation in the future. Sometimes it's also best to have that joint account, especially if you're planning on buying a car or maybe buying a house or maybe building a house. But it doesn't stop you from having those separate accounts as well. In that way, you will not have a problem when it comes to money. But when it comes to that joint account, you're both going to make the decision how you're going to use it. And the next thing you're going to discuss about how you're going to handle your disagreements. There will always be disagreements. Even before you got married, you're already disagreeing on something, especially when it comes to planning a wedding. This is where the disagreements will come. And this is where you are going to be tested. How are you going to handle it? Because planning a wedding is not easy, especially when family is involved as well. How are you going to handle those conflicts? Are you willing to compromise? Because some people can't even handle conflicts. One little thing, they pack their bags and go. You cannot be running away all the time. You need to start working on healthy disagreement because it's not a competition here. Some people just want to have the last say in an argument. It's not about that. So there are other things that you need to discuss during courtship. These are just a few that I've selected. So thank you for watching and see you on the next video. God bless you.